Welcome to my studio and my little world. I'm so glad you could come and visit. Come on in. I'll show you some of my work. This guy is a little puppy who's lost. And he's a little bit sad, but he's cute. My name is Gay Tracy, and I'm a resident artist at the Brush Gallery and Studios here in Lowell. This is my studio, and I'm really lucky to have a studio here. I had to be juried in, and luckily I passed the test. There are 13 artists here now, and we each have a studio, but we're different kinds of artists. There are a number of painters. I'm a painter, but there are also people who do weaving and ceramics and jewelry, and the interaction of having that kind of different art around you is very stimulating and helpful. I've probably done art all my life. Every artist will say that. And I have not been formally trained. I have a master's in business administration, which was a waste of time for me. I should have gone to art school instead, but we all make mistakes. And I have taken a lot of classes at the Museum of Fine Arts, a great many at the De Cordova, because I grew up in Lincoln, and I went to the first De Cordova day camp, and I took a lot of classes there growing up, and I took classes in college. I think every child does art, and I think children's art is phenomenal because children are very free, and those of us that choose art struggle to get that freedom back again. So as a child, my favorite thing to do was to get this great book of white paper and a whole bunch of crayons from my great aunt. And I think she gave it to me every time we came to visit, so I would have something to do when all the adults were talking. And I would make a whole family story out of the book. I would draw the house, I would draw the kids, I would draw the parents, I would draw some animals, and they were very childlike. And I still have one of the books. And the first house that I bought with my husband, I drew when I was about 5 years old or 6 years old. And it was amazing when I saw it and thought, oh my goodness, that's the same house. When I started to take art seriously was in college. And that's when I started to paint. Before that I would do children type painting, but that's when I started to use oil paints and acrylic paints and more sophisticated materials, and have some real critique of the work, and be in a class where certain hours were expected. And that's where I feel like my beginning of an artist started. I've been at the brush for 13 years, and when I came here I hadn't painted for a while because I'd had a family and it was hard to paint at home with kids running around. So it was like beginning again, although it's like a bicycle, you don't lose that. And I thought I was going to paint people, and then I just started painting animals, and I like to paint emotion and motion, and I find that painting emotion, especially in dogs, is easier than in people. Dogs are very clear in what they're feeling when they look at you, and my dogs are very colorful because I love color. So my dogs aren't the color of dogs. They're pink and green and purple and brown and blue, and they have polka dots. But they do have certain expressions in their eyes, and their eyes are the favorite part for me to do, that expresses a feeling. And when you look at them, you can relate to that feeling. This dog is called Electrified. I think that comes from the dog's eyes. It's a Chihuahua or a Chihuahua type dog, and it has that feeling to me of, I just don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen, but here I am, and I'm ready to go. Somebody named him Guilty Gus, and to me, that was perfect. He looks so guilty. I don't know what he has done, but he doesn't want the viewer to know what he has done. He's done something he shouldn't. This is Banjo, and Banjo became my muse for a while. He's a lab that belongs to some friends of mine, and he sits in this strange position. And they kept saying, you can't believe how our dog sits. You just have to paint it. So they brought me a picture, and I painted Banjo, but I kept painting Banjo over and over again because he was so fun. I've also done a lot of landscapes, and they're fun. And again, my palette for the landscapes is color, 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 because that's what I like. And if you want reality, I guess you won't want my art. But I try to get feeling in it that is different from reality, but it has feeling. And sometimes landscapes do have odd colors in them. As you can see, they're in my colors. There's a lot of color involved, and there's some motion in this one and in this one. And to me, they just, I think they're very pretty. Pretty is a really bad word for art, but I think they express something positive. I've been in Lowell since 1999, and I've been here since 1999. I also have the studio over at Western Avenue, which is another place where many artists have studios. My studio is open all the time to the public, so anyone who comes in and wants to talk to me about what I'm doing, do I like art, how do I do it, what should they do. We get a lot of students from UMass who are writing papers, and they might write a paper about a certain piece of mine, and I'll talk to them about the piece. This painting is called A Murder of Crows, and I painted it because I found out that a flock of crows is known as a murder. And I thought that was such a wonderful term that I wanted to paint it. And I guess that's why crows represent death to some people. I don't feel that these are particularly deadly crows. They seem to be going in many directions. I think that all contributes to the artistic community in Lowell. I think Lowell has made a gigantic leap in the time since I first came here, in having more opportunities for artists and more artists, and I'm very lucky to be where I am at this time. My message to other people who are thinking of being artists who are artists is just do your thing and try not to pay too much attention to the market, and try not, which is terrible, and try not to pay too much attention to what other artists think. It's very good to get critiques from other people, and it's good to take classes, but art comes from the inside. And if you pay too much attention and get too involved in rules, I feel that, for me at least, that makes art suffer. But I don't like cerebral art. I like art that's from the gut, and that's a personal opinion. Some people like cerebral art a lot. So there's room for everything, and every painting has a home, hopefully, someday, and just do whatever makes you happy. This one was lots of fun to do. It's people dancing, as you can see. Behind the people, there was another painting of a person. You can sort of see the eyes and the mouth of that person. And then all around are little sort of stick figures that are dancing. And that, for me, creates the energy and the music that I can hear as I see these people dance. Making a living as an artist is difficult. And Lowell has really been helpful in providing spaces for studios and having open studios that are well publicized, that bring in a lot of people. I think our open studios in Lowell is almost as popular as the Folk Festival. Not quite, but and it brings a lot of people in who learn about art, learn about Lowell, and I think it does great things for the artists. I think it does great things for the city. People are always surprised and say, "Oh, it's such a wonderful city. We didn't know Lowell was so great," and we get a lot of foreign visitors in here. The fact that we're in the national park is a huge opportunity for the 13 artists that are here, because we get a lot of visitors that are coming to the park and from many other countries. And that's exciting. The city's also been very good about trying to teach us how to market our work. For some people, that comes very naturally. I like to take those classes because for me, it doesn't come naturally. I would like to see some more workshops with professional gallery owners, owners from maybe Boston or Western Massachusetts or other states that could help us find out what they're looking for, what did they want in an artist, and there is somehow a wall between being a local artist, which I am, and I'm pretty well known in the Lowell area, but I'm not very well known outside of Lowell. I'd like to maybe attach myself to a gallery in another city, and I don't quite know how to do that. So workshops on that would help me a lot. When I paint cats, this is how they come out. They come out wild and angry and full of vigor, and that's because I love cats, but paintings of cats can be kind of tacky. And my cats are definitely not that kind of cats. I love doing the color. I've done a lot of cats coming out of fields where you just see their head coming out of the field. This one is surrounded by other cats that are from hell. It's called Hell's Cats. I do sell my work, and my art is a, quote, business. But I'm at the level where people buy my work because they love it. And I really like that. The people that come in and they see a piece and it speaks to them, they also often like to have a relationship with the artist and to know who the artist is and what's behind a piece. And I have the time to do that, especially here at the Brush where it's open to the public a lot. My art has touched many people. I've had people buy one of my dogs that come out of my head and then say, well, can you do a painting of my dog? And I usually say yes, although that's much harder. And I do a commission for them. I always think of, why don't people buy art more often? They spend a lot on dinner in really expensive restaurants, some people, and they spend a lot on entertainment. And art is something that's with you forever or for a long time, and it gives you pleasure for a long time. It's worth the money that you put into it. And I love to give, when I have a new niece or nephew born, I always paint them a picture of a cow, because the first one, for some reason, I painted a cow, and now they all have a cow. And those paintings that you grow up with, I think everybody can remember something in their room from when they were little. And that's usually a painting or a piece of art. So it makes a wonderful gift for somebody starting off in life, and for a child if it's appropriate for a child.